Podcast episode 2. We are here with the man, the myth, legend, Kobe Russ. So, we have a jam-packed week because we missed one full week, pretty much.
Yeah.
Fault of Zariah's, going to the hospital and shit. Crazy, traumatic experience. But now that we're here, I have a buttload of questions to ask you. To get your thoughts on it. So
Okay, wait, first, last 3 shows I've watched, but I really haven't been into them, so I just click off an hour before it ends.
Same.
I still know what's going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so the questions I'm going to be asking, they're kind of general to the segment.
Yeah.
So if you've seen a little bit of the segment and you know how it ended, then Okay, so my first thing will be, we're going back to SmackDown of this past week. One thing I want to know is I've been seeing a lot of complaining on Twitter about Rhea Ripley. I don't see where it's coming from, why they're complaining about it, but apparently they are saying that she's starting to feel like a side character. Not a side character, but a women's champion when she's not part of the women's division or something, because she's more focused on the Judgment Day stuff. But what do you think about that?
People want her to leave the Judgment Day. There's no good reason to me.
I thought it was all good.
I don't see a reason to why a champion needs to leave a faction, especially when that person made the faction.
Yeah, literally.
I don't think. She just doesn't have a rivalry now. I think they're complaining that they want a women's rivalry outside of the faction rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
They're all good with Zelina Vega being the rivalry, but they would rather have a story outside of a story.
So yeah, I guess it's just weird to me because they want to build stars, and then they build a star like Zelina in a faction, and it doesn't matter if it's a faction. It actually makes more sense to me. It's just weird, that people are already complaining into a 2-week title reign so far about.
Yeah.
I guess that she has no clear challenger, but that's the main thing I saw, is that she doesn't have a clear challenger. But I've been thinking it was going to be Zelina. So, what do you think about the LWO return of the Latino World Order?
I didn't even know that was a thing before.
Really?
Yeah, I had when they made the shirt, when they showed the shirt, I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, they're just copying NWO, but they're making it LWO. I didn't know it was a thing before.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. I think they just need to do more with it. Change Legato's theme, please. It's so bad. I can't stand it. It doesn't do anything.
I like their theme.
It comes on, I'm like, oh, okay, they're coming out. I need to feel oh, the LWO's here. I need something to hit, Ray's song whenever he came out Monday with them.
Yeah, yeah.
In total, I need a better song, but I think it's cool. I wasn't sure they were gonna go full face. Whenever it was showing Santos and Ray respect and all that stuff, I thought he was just gonna turn on him. I thought he was gonna be oh, thank you for everything, but this is our rivalry. But
yeah,
I think they went the right way with this, because if they would have done the rivalry, then they probably would have done what after,
True. I was too expecting kind of a turn of events. I have always thought Santos Escobar is more of a heel, in my opinion. So I see. So another thing on SmackDown was, of course, we've been seeing it all week, all these past few weeks, the dissension between Usos and Heyman.
Yeah, they keep. It looks like it's just Roman and Solo that are involved with all the internal Bloodline stuff, and the Usos are kind of just the bait now instead of part of the team.
So, where do you think this dissension is eventually going to lead?
So, you had said this 7 months ago, bro. It was a long time ago. You had said that you thought that Solo and Roman were going to go on their own little heel run.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's dumb. There was the reason I thought it was dumb is because the Usos were so involved, and it was
Yeah.
like there's no reason for me to think that. Like, I don't know how you would have thought about that, but I mean, I guess it makes sense now, but I still don't see the reason why.
Yeah.
Bloodline, and I don't see the point of two solo competitors just being solo competitors and not teaming up because they're not gonna team up in matches.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're
So to me, it kind of
just like
seems like maybe it'll lead to them breaking off, of course, doing their own little family business, Solo and Roman. And then I feel like eventually, and the only thing you could point towards is if Cody eventually does win the title in the future, if that's still even the plan at this point. Um, Roman gets pissed off and maybe him and Solo go into their non-title feud or something like that, which it's kind of hard to kind of work that out, I guess. But moving on, either way, we're going to LA Knight and another loss racked up for Mr. Knight. How do you feel about
so
his
dumb, so
push,
dumb.
his
Like,
fan push
like
being
it,
halted?
it doesn't make sense because there's talks about he's the first person that they're talking about to win Money in the Bank. There's talks about putting him in WrestleMania immediately, and he hasn't even been in the main roster that long.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're making this happen. Like, talk all this talk and then lose to Xavier Woods twice, I think now. Kofi Kingston once before.
Mm-hmm.
I think he lost to Ray, or did he beat Ray?
I think he won with a roll up on Ray,
I'm not sure.
but
Oh yeah, it might have been like a Dom interference, but
yeah.
like it just doesn't make like. Where's the push? It's just him. It looks like a Zack
So
Ryder scenario.
you said it. I think that's one of my later topics. It is, but we'll bring it up now. So I did put LA Knight as Money in the Bank choice contender for WWE apparently internally. Do you see the benefit of him holding Money in the Bank?
I think it's too early. Like I understand when a star's hot, that's when you need to pull the trigger. Like I completely
Mm-hmm.
get that. That's why Liv Morgan's title run kind of looked soft because it was
Yeah.
too late. So yeah, I get that the fans want it right now, but with Roman Bloodline storyline and all that, like it doesn't fit.
Mm-hmm.
Like then say he does cash in, and he does win it from whomever, if it's Cody or if it's Roman, because those are the only two choices right now. It just doesn't work. It doesn't look good. I don't know. To me, that's how it is. And then you have him lose. It's even worse. So I think you
Yes.
need someone to win Money in the
So
Bank and the Rumble that are involved with the stories.
so kind of keeping it with the Money in the Bank thing, I think that he looks like he's the perfect heel for Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
But
Also that.
I also saw that apparently internally Logan Paul was choiced in as a choice for Money in the Bank. Now, me personally, while I do like LA Knight and I want him to succeed in his title run eventually, I think the heat could go on Logan Paul more. I think LA can reach the top on his own without having Money in the Bank, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
can
dude. Logan Money in the Bank would be crazy.
yeah,
Like
that's serious
oh my
heat
god.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine Dom
That'd be crazy.
winning?
So that's what I also see. I've seen a push of Twitter users going for Dom now out of nowhere. I would just like to say that the Theory train and the Dom train, we were on it first,
Yep.
so we don't have to jump on now. I don't know what's going on, but people are getting on there.
So correct me if I'm wrong. This will be the second or third year that Roman Reigns is champion with the Money in the Bank holder.
First year was Big E, or no, that might.
Well, yes, it was because he defeated Lashley.
Yeah, but that was the second year that he was um, title holder. It
Hmm,
was
yeah. So he was only
Big E,
Universal.
Theory. Yeah, so I think who won that year then? Was that Miz when he beat or Otis
It is. Yeah.
2020? And 2021 was Big E. 2022 was Theory, I think.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
So three times and no one's cashed in on Roman.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy to me. That and now he has both titles. So I hope they don't do a whole swerve like they did with Theory. I wasn't a fan of that. So I really hope they don't ruin that
In
portion
the
of Money in
moment,
the
we
Bank.
liked it.
Yeah, I guess, but he lost.
So I was learning Kiara about like the future or whatever, because you can kind of tell it's kind of repetitive right now with the Usos and all that stuff, which they're kind of replaying last year's Backlash, which was RK Bro and Drew McIntyre versus the Usos and Roman. How they're doing Riddle, Sammy, KO versus the Usos and Solo. So it's
Yeah,
kind of replaying all that. But in the future, I don't know. Say Money in the Bank comes and Roman's still champion,
yeah,
right? The people that can win Money in the Bank would be Logan, I guess Dom. Seth is always a choice for everything. Just the normal people plus Cody. I don't see the point of putting Cody in that match because
yeah.
that's not the choice that he would want to go down. I would think yeah, it doesn't make sense for him to cash in
Yeah.
on Roman. I don't want to see I'm cashing on you tonight. Be ready. I hate that. But whoever wins that wins. Now you get to the Rumble. Winner has to face that champion. So is Cody gonna have to win back-to-back Rumbles to be in the main event again? Like that's I think they're like I don't know what they're gonna do because then it's like, oh, split the titles. How can you anymore? It's too late to do that.
So I wonder
Unless you
if
unify this one.
the way they can split titles is because technically, when you think about it, Money in the Bank, you can only go for one championship. As far as we've seen, I've never ever seen it for double titles. Obviously, I know one year apparently that year Otis won. I think they said that, or I think it was Otis's year that could it be possible that he cashes in on the tag team titles? And I was like, oh, that would be the absolute shittiest idea I've ever heard. But
Yeah.
I don't think you can go for double titles if I'm not mistaken. So
So
I feel like that's the
um,
workaround to stripping one title from him.
yeah, I remember last year at Clash of the Castle, it was said that Triple H wanted to get one of the titles off of Roman, but he didn't want Roman to lose because it'll make him look weak, and already had this story with him, whatever. So the plan was for Theory to cash in that night. The way he came out, the way Tyson Fury punched him, all that. He actually does cash in, gets knocked out by Theory, and Drew McIntyre pins Theory to take one title. But he thought it was going to be too confusing for the fans, so he didn't end up doing it. So I think the Money in the Bank concept was still for both titles, and he was trying to get away from it, but he didn't know how to explain that. Say
Yeah,
say all that happened without the story. All this happened. He pins Theory, and then Drew just goes and takes one title. You know what I mean? Like he needs to
yeah.
grab both because that was in his mind. He just pinned Theory. It's not my fault that I was inserted with Theory inserted him in this match. Like I was going for Roman, but I pinned
Mhm.
the other guy. I need both titles. So I think it's still for both titles. I think they're still in a hole either way.
That's a very interesting thing. Wow. Yeah, I feel like I would be confused on that area. Yes. So, well, I guess moving on, we'll kind of cover Raw, SmackDown with this one. The team of Deville and Chelsea Green. Obviously, a semi-mixed team because before we wanted Carmella, Green, and now we're getting Deville because Carmella was injured. Um, what do you think of them, and how do you think the build for this women's tag team match is going so far? It seems like it's the first one we've seen in a while. That's an actual build.
So I think this is where I ended up like not watching anymore. But I for some reason I like Chelsea Green. I don't know why. Like I didn't know who she was before when we saw her at the Rumble. Was that her debut or was that her return?
So she was actually in the Rumble 2 years prior to that. She was an NXT star. She came out. She got eliminated in like literally 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Her and
Yep.
Dakota Kai. She eliminated Dakota Kai, and that was before
Yes,
the
I
mass
remember watching that.
release. Um, and then she went up to SmackDown, got drop kicked off the apron by Liv Morgan, I think at the time, and broke her wrist. And after that, she never
Mm.
recovered. Never got back under management, I guess. They released her. So
Mm. Okay. Well, I don't know. I like her character. I guess just it's actually an actual character. It's not just one of the women's wrestlers.
yeah,
And I really wanted it to be Carmella because for some reason I like Carmella too. Like I don't know why. I just like have a like
they look like they
feeling towards her.
worked. They worked.
Yeah, it would have been so cool. And Sonya's a lot better than people give her credit for because she has a character also. But I haven't seen much of it. But I did see that we're getting an actual tag women's feud. I
Yep.
didn't realize that we had it before. It was just Damage Control versus whoever they wanted to put out there. But Damage
Yeah.
Control had their story really.
And
So
and
that's cool. Yeah.
there was semi story with the whole Lita and Becky thing, but it was literally like a 1 week story, and then it turned into a triple match. So technically there was never
Stupid.
ever a main pay per view build for women's tag teams.
Yeah. I just
So
wish it wasn't. I don't know. Like, it's still not a valuable championship. But I mean, they have to build it up, and they keep saying they're going to build it up. This is again the first step. They had too many
yes,
first steps, and that just sucks. They keep like rebranding it. So,
yeah,
you know,
I think I think Corey Graves said it best, and he did say he was going to get a lot of
that
um,
he did too.
heat for it, but it doesn't feel like a championship that I would go into. Like if I were a woman at this point and saw how that title was, it's like Sasha Banks. She was very mad about how it was handled. That's why she walked. I feel like it wouldn't be a title I'd go into the company saying, "Oh, I want to get that championship." That's a star's title. I feel like that's a mid card little. Here's your trophy title right now.
Yeah, I think the problem is the tag teams itself aren't tag teams. Like, Liv and Raquel are two great singles competitors, but they were just kind of put in a tag team and they won it. Whatever, that's fine. They're a tag team now. But the reason we're liking Chelsea and Sonya is because they were built up to be a tag team. The way she was
Yes,
being built up with Carmella, they're being built together. That makes more sense to win the championships.
definitely.
Other than so whenever I would hope that they do beat Liv and Raquel, and it would start looking good. But you need to have real tag teams, not Natalia and Shotzi.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
stuff like that. You need real tag team stories with each other to make it work.
Yeah, I think Natalia is good with every person at this point. She scoops around with all her
Yeah,
partners, apparently.
Shotzi too.
So, anyways, we'll go on to Riddle and Sokoa. They had the main event match, I think, for SmackDown. Sokoa ended up winning, obviously, but we kind of see a little formation between Riddle, Zayn, Owens versus the Bloodline. So, how do you feel
And
about?
even Owens, because Owens doesn't really want to be with one of those
Yeah,
teams. I don't know. I mean, I saw a lot of people complaining about Riddle, and I'm not really a big fan of Riddle, only because he faced Seth, though. Like, I realized I liked him before, and then he feuded with Seth. I was like, fuck this guy. But I don't see a problem with it now. I think give him a chance, because you can see he's not being the idiot that he used to be. That's what people were complaining about. They didn't want him to be running around talking about weed all the time or whatever.
yeah,
But it's looks like a faster burn than the Emma burn to turn into her character. I think Riddle came back to be Matt Riddle, the UFC wrestler, Irving fighter, whatever,
yeah.
So I'm interested to see it. I just don't see where it's going to go after this.
Yeah,
Because Riddle's going to get his payback or whatever, and then they're going to put him back against Elias. Like what's going to change with
true,
him?
true. So we're
There's too
gonna
much step.
we're gonna take all that. We're gonna fast forward it to Monday Night Raw, which happened yesterday from our time. Good. It was
So
actually
lame, bro.
a good. It was a good Raw, in my opinion.
I have the worst takes, honestly, because every single show, like the last 3, 4 shows that I've watched with Kiara, like, dude, this show freaking sucked. Like, it was so lame. And then I go on Twitter the next morning or night, whatever, because sometimes like I don't even want to watch the rest because I need to go to work the next morning.
Yeah.
And it's like it was a fun Raw tonight. Raw was great tonight. I'm like, what? Like, what did I miss? I'm always wrong. I'm always wrong. I never have it correct. I'm like, that was a good Raw tonight.
So
It's like Raw's dragging.
I think what it could be is the fact that it was dragging that first Raw after Mania, and now that it's kind of picking up like speed, people are like praising it. So, well, I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see exactly how good this gets. But anyways, Sokoa,
It's just really obvious that they're waiting for the draft to start a lot of stuff.
yeah, definitely.
That's what kind of sucks, especially for people that are going to these shows.
Yeah, they're like coasting.
Imagine going to a show and it's like it's a filler. Yeah.
Mhm. So Solo Sokoa has been obviously on his warpath, fighting anybody, everybody that comes in his way, beating them nonetheless. This latest person that he fought was Rey Mysterio. He beat him. He's going up against these big names and beating them. Obviously, being pushed as main eventer. What are your thoughts on Solo Sokoa?
So a lot of people don't like it, huh? They're saying that he's being overpushed and stuff like that, but then they want new stars, and then they're complaining about the new stars. Who's a new star? Austin Theory is a new star. Who did they complain about on Twitter? Austin Theory. What reactions did he get this last morning? Apparently he was getting, "Let's go Theory, Theory sucks" chants. That's awesome. No, but Twitter will tell you differently. So I think Solo Sikoa is perfectly established and he will be great in the future.
Okay, I see. So I'm gonna kind of skip ahead to that point you just made about theory because I think we're gonna clash heads here a little bit. Um, One of the things we all know, I'm a theory fan, you're a theory fan, but I have seen from theory is the possibility that this guy is being overshadowed by other feuds going on. I feel like every time he's in the ring, something else is happening that overshadows him, and he's just in the match.
I won't. I will say that that's not his fault, but I know what you mean. Because even at the Rumble, he didn't get an entrance.
Yeah.
His theme hit, and we were going crazy. We were the only two people cheering.
Mm-hmm.
Then like it stopped abruptly, and we see like Finn and Edge running down the ramp. And then
Yes.
he faced Edge on Raw, and it ended because Finn distracted him, but he won. Faces Ray, and he beats Ray, but he beats Ray because Dom distracts him. So yeah, I know what you mean, and that does suck. I hate that. Like I wish he would just win normally.
So, one thing I have to ask is, do you think the Cena feud helped Theory, or do you think it kind of halted him? Do you think some people saw maybe weaknesses in his current character that they're just not hyped into anymore? Because before I was seeing so much praise on Theory. Now, after the Cena feud, it's like this guy can't go like I thought he could, and that's all I see now, and it's kind of worrying to.
It's so unfair. Like I think like the reason people are saying it didn't help him is because they went into the match hoping that Cena was gonna come back and have his open challenge stuff, and they were just disregarding the star that they have. They wanted Cena to build up what's his name in NXT, Breaker. They wanted
Yeah.
to come out Monday and challenge him for the title, and they're a new established star for the U.S. title. You have the established star facing John Cena right now.
Mhm.
They go into the match wanting nothing good to come out of it, so they're not gonna be like, "Oh yes, this helped him a lot." It would have helped him a lot if they went into it with a better mind, but
Yeah.
it didn't really do much for him.
So, as for that, since we've already kind of seen that he's being overshadowed by certain rivalries, this time he was overshadowed by Reed and Lashley. What are your thoughts on that feud?
Well, I think I didn't think it was gonna be a feud. I thought it was gonna be like a one-off, but it's pretty cool because I didn't really care for Bronson Reed, but
I remember that. I
it's just
remember us
pretty fire,
talking
yeah.
about it.
I
I
was like, "Who's this
remember.
guy? Who the heck is this?" But it's worked out pretty good. I like him being on the roster. I think he's a good, just like random star. Like
Yeah.
like have him in the random feuds and like it works. I don't have anything wrong with it.
Okay, I see. So, now to the beef of this right here Trish Stratus. Let's start off on this lady looks phenomenal, first of all. We both have to get that out of the way. She looks phenomenal. Second off, that promo. How did it make you feel? Did you see it? What were your thoughts on it?
I don't watch the promo.
Whoa. Okay. So you need to watch the promo. We need to have a discussion on that promo. First of all, this felt like a heel. I haven't felt in a while, for the women's division at least. This felt like an
Here,
actual heel run.
let me downplay her first,
Okay,
so that you
go ahead.
can bring her up. I not liking what I saw. So
Okay.
it started off when I think she returned at the steel cage match
Yes,
to
yes.
help, or at some point around that time when she made her return. Take Twitter out of our lives.
Hmm.
Do you see that coming? Do you see Trish returning?
Did I see her returning?
If we didn't have Twitter, I think it would have made no sense.
Um, I mean, seeing that maybe just because Lita was involved, I could possibly
Just
see
because
it.
Lita.
Now, I thought since it wasn't in Canada, like the week before that, I would have not thought she would return that night at all. Just because I thought they would have saved it
Just
for Canada.
just because Lita, it makes sense. And whatever, you get to WrestleMania, all that stuff happens. A week before WrestleMania, on Twitter, hold on, Kara sent me a tweet. Let me read it real quick. The week before, on Twitter, everyone was saying it was rumored that Trish was going to turn heel, that there's going to be surprises at WrestleMania for the match. That was already established a thing, right? So me watching the show, already having this in my mind, everyone's like, "Oh, she's doing it tonight." Then nothing happened, and then we get to WrestleMania, and they said that stuff was going to happen during the match. I don't remember exactly the words they used, but then nothing happened, right? And then the next Monday again, which was no, that wasn't even the one that she turned, or was it? This one. Was it the Monday after Mania that she turned, or no? Was it the second one?
Yeah, but second one.
Second one. So Monday after Mania comes, and there's people on Twitter like when they're doing their entrance, and they're like, "Oh, it's giving heel. It's looking like a heel turn." It didn't. It didn't look like anything was happening. I promise you, because I was watching with having that out of my mind. It was like, that's lame. Like, I already know apparently that she's gonna turn heel. I'm just trying not to spoil it for Kiara, but it didn't look anything like a heel turn. You know how like tag teams, how, like, they're give me the tag, and then they're like not paying attention. They're in their mind. Nothing was out of the ordinary in any way for that. Until Lita gets attacked and all that, then it made sense. But it made no sense. I don't see how people on Twitter were saying that it looked good, because I don't think it looked good.
So I can agree with you on one thing because we agreed on it, and I said it before. Yes, the first of all, the heel turn did not look good to me. I wish it was maybe a hot tag that she jumped off the apron and said "fuck you" and left, right?
Yes, like,
But
made her lose the championship.
yeah, but it was awkward. The whole thing was awkward at the end, especially
Well, that
Trish.
was very awkward.
So if you watch the promo, in the promo, she states she's not a sidekick like Becky Lynch has been treating her because she's obviously Atleta. She's saying she's not a sidekick. She's not going to be anybody's sidekick. That pretty much she's the real deal. She's the spotlight. She's the reason why people cared about women's wrestling to begin with, which is true to me. Some people were in the comments saying, "Oh, what about Alundra Blaze? Oh, what about this?" Alundra Blaze.
People that no one talks about.
Alundra Blaze, while very good, Bull Nakano, all those women wrestling, while very good, they had one notable match, and they had more than that, but they had one that is mainstream talked about still today, and that's it. Trish Stratus, you could talk about her versus Victoria, her versus Jazz, her versus Mickey James, her versus Lita, first main event. This woman was her and Lita were both the kickstarters to everything, pretty much. All things women's wrestling to me. While some people were saying, no, Jazz was there. Jazz isn't talked about today no more, and Jazz is easily forgotten about, which sucks because she was a good competitor. But I think Trish Stratus is the real deal. The thing is, so her heel heat in that promo, while I think the moves and stuff were pitched in by the WWE because she was.
That's what I had seen too.
Yeah, I really think so. Just based off of seeing like the booze and then seeing the crowd reacting, it was kind of off. But the way she's acting is kind of like heel that I haven't seen in a while. That's 2006 style Trish right there. I think we're gonna have a good. Now the thing is, I do think Trish and Lita have been performing out of their element. I don't think they're up there on par right now. I feel like they're scared to kind of do moves. Trish, she kind of like when she does the chick kick now, you could tell she holds her foot down, like she doesn't want to fully go for it, like to avoid injury. I guess I don't know, but I do understand what you're saying on that part.
So it seems like the promo you just talked about was half right. The half being that she's the guy or she's the woman that made all this. Everything that you just explained made sense, except for the beginning when you said that she's not a sidekick, because she inserted herself into this stuff. She's the one that returned to help them.
Yeah.
Helping means you're a sidekick. and she inserted herself to make the three-way match. Then she inserted herself to replace Lita for the tag match. She lost the match, and then she turned on. Made no sense to me. Like,
So that's
if you're
where
gonna turn, it's like Becky should have turned. Becky was like, "Oh, you lost my belts. Like,
yes. Okay, so
this isn't fair." But Lita turned.
that's where I
I
agree
mean,
with you because
Trish.
in her promo she stated the reason she took out Lita was because she wanted to make it crystal clear that she's the reason that Becky lost the titles. But the
Why
way
she
they
fight?
yeah the way they did it kind of made it look like she was so surprised that she lost, like she was supposed to lose, like blah blah blah. She should
Yeah,
have made it seem like she really was trying to lose. You know what I mean? Like it
yeah.
didn't make sense to me either. But
Like not you said like not going for the tag or something like that because
Mhm.
taking Lita out and then trying to win the match doesn't make sense.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
But
So with that said,
going off today.
we'll go on to the ending of Monday Night Raw. Did we see that at least?
Oh, I saw that it was like an all-out brawl, which people
Oh,
liked.
yeah, it was a whole faction war apparently.
That's pretty
So
cool. So I liked Judgment Day and Bloodline. I thought they were gonna feud at first. It's like, oh, this is cool because we saw them challenge for the tag titles not too long ago. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But then they joined teams, and I was like, oh, that's also pretty cool. Like the way it's like they're both heels. They
yeah,
don't want to have anything to do with each other, but they're handling business. I thought that was cool. I thought that was a cool touch. To have Priest look like the leader,
yeah. So
take his hand.
you saw the handshake between Heyman and what's his name, Damian Priest or whatever, and Finn
Finn
Balor.
was like staring at them.
Yeah. So do you think this kind of is foreshadowing a break between the Judgment Day and the future?
I don't think so. I think that was just playing the like why they don't like him. Finn has the biggest reason not to like the Bloodline.
Yeah.
I think he. I don't think it was anything of a break. I think it was just
I
a cool
guess
touch to show why they aren't going to get along, but they're going to work together for the meantime.
guess we'll have to wait and see on that part. See if our
Because they
opinions
lost, so
differ. Okay,
see
so
Finn's new shirt, Finn 14 staples.
yeah, I did. I like that. That was actually a pretty cool shirt.
Uh,
Okay, so we'll go on. I'm just gonna. We already kind of covered both. I'm gonna go on to general news because I found some exciting stuff that I don't know for sure you've seen.
way
For
better at hosting, by the way.
what was that?
So you're way better at hosting, by the way.
Why? I think you did a good job.
I don't know. I feel like I'm talking better not being the host. I feel
Well, I did see some interesting stuff. So 2 days ago, I saw a story on YouTube Report, and it was reported that Vince McMahon emailed the entire WWE roster. And you know what that email said? Okay,
I think I remember seeing a little bit.
it was regarding creative control and his creative input. And Vince McMahon apparently sent an email saying that Triple H has full control and he has side control where he's not picking at the storylines, he's just kind of pitching ideas. Do you think that's true?
People were saying that he might have been forced out, kind of thing. Like that he didn't want to send that email. He was pissed about it.
So I'm wondering if maybe it is true that Vince McMahon was running Monday Night Raw. They saw the fan outrage. Hopefully, if that was the case, and he was out, booted out, because that didn't seem like a Triple H esque show. If we're being honest,
It was night and day, dude. The difference
very.
so big,
SmackDown came along, and you could tell a huge difference.
completely. And it was even reported. Fightful reported that night that Vince wasn't going to be at the. I think it was
Yeah,
Fightful. Sorry if I'm wrong.
it was like
He wasn't going to be there. So it
yeah.
was it was a complete change, and that's just how it is. I'm pretty sure he was in charge for a night.
I think so too. So another thing that I saw, you probably didn't see it. Apparently, there's twins training at the performance center. We're kind of off the heels of the Bella twins leaving WWE. They're gone, good now. They're not ambassadors no more. Apparently, they're released from the company. They asked for their release. But apparently, they're bringing in two girls named Anna and Haley Cavender. They're two twins. I guess they are starting to train at the PC. You think they're trying to maybe have a twin duo replacement for the Bellas, or what do we think is going on there? You think it's just a signing? They just like these twins.
I don't know. I didn't hear about this at all. So I
Yes,
think it's impossible to replace Villas. Like
as much as
as much
people
as
want
people, the
to.
fans don't like him for that reason.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I don't know where the hate came for the Bellas, but
yeah.
there's no way you can replace the Bellas. Like I'm sorry.
They're important. They're important. So I just thought that was some
But
fun
they can.
news.
You can beat twins without having to be the Bellas. Like the Usos aren't even really known to be twins anymore. They're kind of just the bloodline. You know
Yeah.
Jimmy and you know Jay, but you knew the Bellas until they broke off into Nikki and Brie, obviously. But like
Oh, you mean
you can
until?
still be a team without having to be the Bellas,
Are you talking about until Nikki got a boob
pretty much.
job?
Like you can be twin wrestlers without having to replicate
Yeah,
anything.
definitely.
And you can still do it.
I mean, I think Nikki's best work came after she stepped out of the twin shadow thing and became her own performer. That's when she really took off. So, on other news, we have the WWE draft coming soon. How excited are we for that?
I'm excited for storylines to get started. I'm not necessarily excited for Seth to go to SmackDown.
What?
I'm not a SmackDown guy. You know this. I like Raw
SmackDown
better.
is the place to be. SmackDown is the
Uh,
house that AJ Styles built. SmackDown was John Cena's area.
mm, no.
SmackDown.
John Cena is a Raw guy.
Okay, but
John Cena is a Raw guy.
when
Randy
John
Orton is a Raw guy. Stone
when
Cold is a
John
Raw guy.
Cena went his ass to SmackDown, it was still must see. When John Cena left
Yeah.
SmackDown Live, it was still must see. Jinder Mahal was running SmackDown as champion for a while, and it was still must see TV. SmackDown's the place to be to me.
Shield, Evolution, DX, all Raw.
Yes, but Raw gets a little raw after a while because
It
three
does.
hours is too much.
I think 2 hours is too little though. I feel like
It does feel
it's just
very
like
short
that. It's so
sometimes.
quick.
That
It's
is
also
true.
just the way the show is
Mhm.
put out. Like SmackDown is look. I mean, SmackDown is better than Raw right now. So it looks so good. It's so good. And it feels like it goes so fast. Raw is just not that good. So it feels like it's even longer than the three
Yeah,
hours.
that is true. So I'm gonna wrap it up, but before I do, I'm gonna go on this topic because it was something that made me laugh my ass off. It annoys me. I don't know why, but apparently they had that creator clash. John Hennigan was fighting in it. Blah blah blah. We saw it. He knocked out some dude. But in
Hello.
one of the matches, this guy, a YouTuber, I don't even know his name. I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before. Calls out Seth Rollins, saying that
Yeah. No one
he
knows who he is.
apparently he was contacted by WWE. He has a signed an unsigned contract that they gave him and stuff that he still has sitting in his room and all this stuff. I call bullshit on it, but I just kind of like look at it. And I'm like, why are y'all trying to call out these WWE guys? Like that's so weird to me. Like it's so
No one knew what was
weird.
going on.
I was laughing. I was squeaking in my boots.
It doesn't make sense for any wrestler to go Fox. We saw CM Punk go to the UFC. It didn't work. The only person that you can do that is Brock Lesnar. Like he's just a behemoth. So
Yeah, CM
it would
Punk's
make
run
more
was,
sense if this guy, whoever he was,
and
called out Seth to a wrestling match.
we're
No,
not we're not really an AEW show. We never really geared ourselves as AEW fans. I used to be an AEW fan until they changed the product to be what it is today. But CM Punk apparently is already on his way back. So I'm actually kind of excited to tune into their new show because apparently the
yeah, he's gonna have a segment or whatever.
yeah Elite
To
doesn't
be
want
a
to
part
work
of
with
it.
him. So it's kind of
Mhm.
weird, but I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, AEW is better with Punk. It
Definitely.
was really bad with what happened. It tore them down, all that. They're better with
AEW
Punk.
AEW was thriving at the beginning because it was in its honeymoon phase, and it only ever thrived again once CM Punk showed up.
Yes,
So
he had the best ratings on the show. He seems just, he should have come to WWE though, god damn it.
I know.
I still have hope in my mind just to hear his theme one more time, but I
Well,
mean,
I guess
that's what he wants to be.
wraps us up for today. This was podcast episode 2. We appreciate you watching with us today. Of course, I am your host for today, Isaiah. This is the man in the hot seat, Kobe. Anything you'd like to add as we go off today?
Just like, subscribe, do all that, the normal stuff.